thousands of medical students are competing for limited spots in residency programs across the country, and program directors and their faculty teams prefer candidates who've passed on the first attempt. I'm focused today on getting you, the medical student doctor, to graduation and into a great residency program. So here we go.
Residency looming, board exams ahead.
For decades, medical students have found themselves in the middle of ongoing debates and controversies surrounding the boards, what we refer to as the national licensing exams in medical school and beyond. So today, let's start to clear up some of that confusion. Stick with me. I'm here to give you the big picture, the satellite view from space as an overview, and I'm hoping that you can take this with you across your entire career. I'm Dr. Chad Brands, and I'm going to bring 30 years as a physician leader who's worked in a number of medical schools and leadership roles and also as a program director in 2 specialties to this discussion. This video is the 35,000-foot view, walking you through the pathway and purposes behind these exams so that you can understand why they're so important in becoming a licensed doctor who can actually practice medicine. So, what are the national licensing exams? Let's call them the boards for short. The boards are exams written by national boards of invited faculty experts across scientific fields of study. In the basic sciences, traditionally years 1 and 2 of med school, and the clinical sciences, traditionally years 3 and 4 of med school. So why do they matter so much? These are licensing exams developed by those national committees of experts that will allow you to become a licensed physician once you pass the examination. You need a license to practice medicine. Medicine is about applying scientific knowledge, and a lot of it, to real-world clinical settings. Patients are depending on you, and these boards are going to test your ability to ensure that you've acquired the basic fundamental medical knowledge to be competent and proficient. Though it might seem far off, your preparation starts now in med school. Whether you're on the path to become a licensed medical doctor or a doctor of osteopathic medicine, passing your boards is a crucial part of that journey. So how does licensure work? Let's take a look at a helpful example outside of medicine first. Take the legal field. Attorneys have to prepare for and take and pass a bar exam in a specific state in the United States to be eligible to practice law as an attorney in that state. It's a capstone exam, and it actually happens after they graduate from law school. All 50 states in the USA have specific bar and licensing requirements for lawyers. It makes sense. If you're going to be an attorney and interpret and apply a law in a specific state, you've got to be licensed. Back to you, the medical student. In contrast to our friends, the lawyers, who take state-specific bar exams, medical students and physicians take sets of national licensing exams, the boards. But the catch is, you have to pass these exams to graduate from med school. Your results are used by different organizations, all critical to your journey and path to becoming a licensed physician. First, medical schools use your results to see if you're passing milestones in acquiring medical knowledge. That means you need a passing score on these exams. Second, residency selection committees, led by program directors, use these results to select residents for their competitive programs. Finally, these results are used by all 50 states' medical licensing boards in the USA to grant you a license to practice medicine in a specific state. That step comes during residency. So to recap, it really cannot be understated as to how important these exams are, the boards, on your career journey. It's the key that allows you to open the lock to your future and to graduate from medical school with a signed diploma, get into a residency via the match, more to come on that, and to get a license to ultimately practice medicine. We don't just take one exam. Doctors take 3. That's, I guess, because our attorney friends would say we're special. Doctors are special. We represent lifelong learning, not just because we face more exams. Patients are depending on you to make life and death decisions wisely and soundly with good evidence-based medicine. During residency, you'll take a 3rd national board exam. But let's wait with that. Let's just talk about the first 2 steps, these first 2 exams during medical school. So these are all high-stake exams, meaning your path to become a licensed physician depends on your individual performance. Your school, faculty, classmates, student doctor peers can help you prepare, but it's really ultimately up to you and only you to pass these exams on your first attempt. And the exams won't stop in medical school, residency, or beyond. Being a good or even great test taker is essential to becoming a licensed physician. It might seem intimidating, but take heart. Thousands of good students who preceded you have passed these exams every year, and you can too with the right strategy. That's the big picture, team. It's key. For medical school, just like in football, there's a goal line downfield. See it, visualize it, taste it. We have to keep moving the football downfield, graduate, get a signed diploma at graduation on time with your peers, start residency. In that order, the dean's team leading your medical school is going to do its best to ensure that all students are set up for that success, using national timelines to get to that ultimate end game of licensure and to practice medicine independently, someday not so far away. That timeline for success includes passing the national licensing exams at each stage of your medical education, following the timeline laid out by these testing organizations. So while good med schools will assist you in your exam prep, it's important to know that schools do not write, come up with the content, or even administer these exams. They really have no control over them. But the blueprint content is available, so you can check it out online. And this is where you tap into your why, your motivation, and the real reasons that brought you to medical school in the first place, pushing you towards graduation. Remember, back to football, like any quarterback, you might fumble the ball or throw an interception or two from time to time, but there's the bigger game to win, and that's graduation. Walking up to that stage, getting the signed diploma from your dean, and hearing your friends and family celebrate that milestone achievement. Once you've passed the board exams and completed a year of residency, you're going to be that licensed doctor. And that's the why that manifests in you taking care of your patients, current to future, and watching how you're going to help transform their lives, heal them, and make them better. I get it. The boards are hard, but they're hard for a reason. Not everybody's going to be able to become a licensed physician, right? You can't and just turn your life over to just anyone who's taking care of you in the operating room. So take pride in this opportunity you have and do your part. You're in the arena. It might feel overwhelming, but with a good strategy and good support, you're going to get to the goal line. Let's take this back down to earth in a few key takeaways. Remember your school's leadership, follow the recommendations that they've outlined for you, and make sure to register for your exams on their recommended timeline. Your program has your best interests at heart. Your deans and instructors want you to graduate on time, and that means you need to take the boards on time and pass them on the first attempt. Listen to your school's advice on this topic, especially from the dean's team. You need to stay ahead of your med school's timeline and proactively prepare for, take, and pass these exams the first time with confidence. This is not something you're going to procrastinate. You're going to start with study strategies early. Make sure that you're going to take the action steps that you need to succeed. 10 questions per night, recognizing that 10 times 6 is 60, and if you take a day off or you slip, right, you'll have 240 questions in an entire month. That's going to allow you to succeed. Yes, they're high stakes, but you can pass on the first attempt. Let's boil it down to this. 1 in basic science, 1 in clinical medicine. They're both required to graduate from medical school and to get a residency program in the match. Step 1, level 1, is basic science material. Comes in typically year 2 of your med school's timeline. Step 2, level 2, is a clinical science exam, and it comes in year 3 after you've done those key clinical experiences like surgery, medicine, OB/GYN, psych, and peds. During residency, you'll take a 3rd national board exam. The USMLE Step 1 and 2 are the sets used by allopathic schools for MD students. The COMLEX Level 1 and 2 sets are used by osteopathic med schools for the DO students. Students are going to take one or the other set, not both. There might be rare exceptions to that generalized plan or rule, and they're highly individualized. One set's enough. Program directors recognize that these slightly different exams, reflecting somewhat different approaches to medicine, allopathic or osteopathic, are now considered equivalent. USMLE and COMLEX meet the pathways and the requirements to get a medical license in states in the USA. If you feel like you could be needing additional individualized career counseling or something that is tailored to your unique situation, let me know, and I'd be happy to give you some tailored, customized coaching advice on how to set yourself up for success with the boards. You're going to have to set aside money, you're going to have to set aside preparation time each day, and recognize that it's part of your career journey. I know many of you are thinking, well, you come from very competitive educational backgrounds, and maybe it's the GPA that mattered in undergraduate. Well, today's the day to make that mental shift. It's not about the grades anymore, it's about passing your courses and the boards on the first attempt. So make it your mission to pass. If you delay your own graduation due to procrastinating or not doing well on the boards, you're going to greatly limit your chances of matching into that competitive, excellent residency program. And if you don't graduate from med school at all, you're not even going to be able to apply for a residency or even practice medicine. Residency programs are going to always take those candidates who pass their boards on the first attempt. It's as simple as that. Success on the boards is going to open up a whole set of doors to your bright future. Failures on the boards close those doors. So your medical school is going to support you, and ultimately it's really up to you, one day at a time, to prepare yourself and to study effectively and efficiently. To graduate and match into a residency program, you've got to prepare for these high-stakes exams, not a month before, not the year of your exam, but start today. Hopefully you now understand that big picture view. We are docking into that space station, having done our big picture overview, that you can keep in sight and keep in mind as you're inspired and motivated to push to your future and to think about how you're going to pass the boards on your first attempt. What questions do you have about the boards? I'd like to hear from you. Put your questions in the comment section down below. And if you found these tips helpful, please share them with a classmate who might also need to get this information today to individually strategize the importance of the boards and to get the strategies put in place today. Don't forget, 10 questions in the evening each night. Stay well, study well, and do those Q-Bank questions.
Board exams ahead. Take a deep breath, friend. Let's conquer what you dread.